In the dusty village of Ayatoro, deep in Ogun State, lived a girl named Monarchy. She was 19, slender, dark-skinned, with tired eyes that had seen too much hardship too early. Her mother died when she was 12, her father became crippled after a motorcycle accident, and from that day, Monarch's childhood ended. She hawked akara every morning before school, fetched water for neighbors in the afternoon, and returned home at night to a leaky mud house with a groaning father who blamed fate for everything. Poverty followed her like a shadow. In Ayatoro, beauty meant nothing if hunger lived in your stomach, and Monarchy knew this truth too well. One evening, her father called her into the room.
Forgiveness.
His voice was cold and final. He told her she was getting married in 2 weeks. No discussion. No explanation. Monarch's knees weakened. She begged. She cried. She said she wanted to finish school. Her father slapped the floor with his walking stick and shouted that love does not feed a man. He told her a man named Sadiq had paid her bride price already. 500,000 naira. To Monarchy, it sounded like blood money. To her father, it was survival. Sadiq was known in the village as a quiet, poorly dressed man who lived in a small rented room near the outskirts. People said he fixed generators and phones. Others said he was lazy and hiding something. No one respected him. Women laughed at him. Men mocked him. He rode an old motorcycle that coughed like a dying goat. When Monarchy first saw him, her heart sank. This was the man her life had been sold to. The wedding was small and humiliating.
Look at her face, so
No
sad,
music.
and his clothes so worn.
No
Poor
celebration.
decorations, no music.
The villagers whispered and laughed. Some said Monarch's beauty had finally met its punishment. Others said at least she would suffer less because Sadiq was already poor. On their wedding night, Monarchy cried herself to sleep, convinced her life was over. Days turned into weeks. Sadiq never touched her without consent. He never raised his voice. He cooked. He cleaned. He left early every morning and returned late at night, always tired, always quiet. Monarchy noticed strange things. Sometimes, he received calls and stepped outside to speak in a different voice, firm and commanding. Sometimes, expensive cars passed by their street slowly, as if looking for someone. Once, she saw him remove a wristwatch before entering the house. The watch looked nothing like poverty. Still, life was hard. The roof leaked. Food was scarce. Monarchy began to resent him. One night, in anger, she screamed that he was useless, that her life had been ruined by a poor man who could not even change their fate. Sadiq listened silently. Then he said, "Everything you see is not everything that exists." Monarchy laughed bitterly and turned away. The first scandal happened 3 months later. Ayatoro woke up to news that Monarch's father had suddenly been paid 10 million naira in compensation for land the government claimed they needed. People were shocked. The land had always been worthless. Rumors flew. Some said Monarchy was sleeping with politicians. Others said Sadiq was involved in ritual money. Monarchy herself was confused. When she asked Sadiq, he simply said, "Your father will no longer suffer." Then came the second twist.
Go!
One night, armed robbers invaded their street. Everyone ran. Guns fired. Sadiq pushed Monarchy into the room, locked the door, and stepped outside. Within minutes, military vans arrived.
Surround the house! Move!
Soldiers surrounded the
Lights on the
house.
vans! Hold formation!
The
I
robbers
shot,
were
no
arrested
breaches.
without a fight. By morning, the whole village was shaking. Soldiers did not come to Ayatoro. Ever. When Monarchy confronted Sadiq, her voice trembling, he finally told her the truth. Sadiq was not poor. He was a billionaire. His real name was Sadiq Lawal Adekana, founder of a powerful tech and infrastructure company based in Lagos, Abuja, and Dubai. Years ago, he had been kidnapped by business rivals, escaped, and decided to disappear. He lived quietly, studying human behavior, protecting his assets through proxies, and waiting for the right moment to reclaim everything. He had chosen Monarch's village because no one would ever suspect a thing. He married her because, in his words, I wanted a wife who loved me before money, but fate forced us differently. Monarchy fainted, but the real scandal was yet to come. A wealthy woman from Lagos arrived in the village screaming that Monarchy was sleeping with her husband. She slapped Monarchy publicly and accused Sadiq of being her husband's errand boy. That same day, Sadiq called a press conference in Abeokuta. Cameras flashed. Journalists gasped. He walked in wearing a perfectly tailored suit. The poor man from Ayatoro vanished in that moment. He announced his return to business and revealed that the woman's husband was one of the men who had tried to kill him years ago. The woman collapsed on live TV. Suddenly, Monarchy became famous. Bloggers dug up her past. Old photos of her hawking Acura went viral. Some praised her. Others insulted her, calling her lucky trash. Family members she had never met appeared, demanding money. Her father suddenly claimed he had always loved Sadiq like a son. But wealth brought danger. Sadiq's enemies returned. One night, Monarchy was kidnapped. For 3 days, she was tortured emotionally, shown fake videos of Sadiq sleeping with other women, told he married her out of pity. On the 4th day, Sadiq stormed the hideout with security forces. Bullets flew. Blood spilled. Monarchy was rescued, but her heart was broken. She accused Sadiq of using her life as a shield. She left him and moved to Lagos alone. She rejected money, refused cars, and started school again, determined to build herself. Months passed. Sadiq respected her silence. He watched from afar. The final twist came 1 year later. Monarchy graduated top of her class in business administration. At her graduation party, she was announced as the new CEO of a foundation that supported poor village girls. The sponsor remained anonymous. As she stepped outside, Sadiq stood waiting, no guards, no cameras. He knelt down and apologized publicly for marrying her without truth. He handed her documents. Half of his empire was signed over to her name. Monarchy smiled through tears. She did not return as a poor village girl or as a billionaire's wife. She returned as a woman who owned her story. An Ayatoro would forever whisper about the day poverty married wealth without knowing it was sitting on a throne.